Hello and welcome to BYJU'S IAS, presenting to you the daily quiz for 31st of July 2021. Let us begin and have a look at the first question for today. Consider the following statements with respect to KUSUM Scheme. The Ministry of Power launched this scheme with the aim of providing additional income to farmers. The farmers will be provided assistance to install standalone solar pumps or solarized agricultural feeders. The farmers have the option of selling additional power through solar power projects set up on their barren lands to the grid. Which of the given statements is or are correct? What is the context? There is a mention of the Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Utthan Mahabhiyan scheme, which is the KUSUM scheme in the PIB article. Let us discuss more on this scheme as we answer the question. The PM KUSUM scheme was launched with the aim of providing additional income to farmers, absolutely right, but the scheme was launched by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and not the Ministry of Power. Therefore, statement 1 becomes incorrect. The state electricity distribution companies, also known as DISCOMs, will buy the additional solar power produced by the farmers on their barren lands. Also, the scheme aims at removing farmers' dependence on diesel and kerosene and link their pump sets to the solar energy. Now coming to statement number 2. Statement number 2 is correct because the government will provide assistance to farmers for installing standalone solar pumps. Also, in the year 2021, the government announced a little modification to an existing component of the PM KUSUM scheme. The government will now bear 30% of the cost of building a small solar plant to supply electricity to agricultural feeder, which will supply electricity to all the pumps in the village. Earlier, the government helped the farmers to solarize their grid-connected pump sets. Now it will provide assistance to solarize their agricultural feeders. The focus has now been shifted on solarizing agricultural feeders instead of pumps. Statement number 3 is also correct because the farmers have the option of selling the additional power to the DISCOMs. Therefore, the right answer to this question would be option C, 2 and 3 only. Moving on to question number 2. Which of the given statements with respect to tropospheric ozone is or are correct? It is a highly reactive oxidant that significantly reduces crop productivity, drastically increases plants' ability to sequester carbon, and aggravates lung diseases. It is the main ingredient of urban smog. Most of the ultraviolet radiations from the sun is absorbed by the tropospheric ozone. What is the context? This article in the Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper today talks about exceeding ozone levels beyond permitted limits even in winter. And this in turn is making smog more toxic in Delhi. Earlier, excessive ozone levels in the atmosphere was believed to be a phenomenon during summers only. But now it has become a year-long phenomenon. Why was it believed to be more during summers? To understand this, we must know that there are two ozones. One is the stratospheric ozone, which is present in the stratosphere, and the other one is the tropospheric ozone, that is ozone found in the lowest layer of Earth's atmosphere, that is troposphere. Ozone is produced naturally in the stratosphere when highly energetic solar radiation strikes the molecules of oxygen, and this causes two oxygen atoms to split apart. But tropospheric ozone formation occurs when nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide and volatile organic compounds react in the atmosphere in the presence of sunlight. Hence, it was believed to be more during summers. Please remember that the stratospheric ozone is the good ozone and the tropospheric ozone is known as the bad ozone. Let us understand why as we answer the question. The bad ozone has certain negative effects. It is an air pollutant that is harmful for human beings and it also damages crops, trees and other vegetation. So it reduces crop productivity, correct? It aggravates lung diseases like asthma, correct? But it increases the plant's ability to sequester carbon is the incorrect part in this statement. Ozone reduces the plant's ability to sequester carbon. That is, it reduces the uptake of atmospheric carbon by vegetation. Therefore, statement 1 becomes incorrect. Statement number 2 is correct because this is a major component of smog and a menace in Delhi too as it faces the issue of smog. Now coming to statement number 3. It is the good ozone, that is the stratospheric ozone, that protects us from the ultraviolet radiations from the sun. and it absorbs majority of it. Therefore, statement number 3 becomes incorrect. Most of the ultraviolet radiations from the sun is absorbed by the stratospheric ozone. Therefore, the right answer to this question would be option A, 2 only. Moving on to question number 3. Which of these countries share border with the Baltic Sea and lie on its eastern coast? Lithuania, Belarus, Sweden, Estonia, Latvia. Why this question? Exercise Indra Navy is being carried out in the Baltic Sea, and this is in an article in the PIB today. Remember that Indra Navy is a biennial bilateral maritime exercise between Indian and Russian navies. There is a mention of Baltic Sea and hence this question. Now our question asks us which of these countries border the Baltic Sea and lie on its eastern coast. Now we have Lithuania here, which shares its border with the Baltic Sea and is on its eastern coast. Coming to Belarus, Belarus is a landlocked country, so this becomes incorrect. Sweden does share a border with the Baltic Sea, but it is not on its eastern coast, so this becomes incorrect. Coming to Estonia and Latvia, both these countries lie on the eastern coast of Baltic Sea and also share border. Therefore, the right answer would be 1, 4 and 5. And the correct answer to the question would be option D, 1, 4 and 5 only. The Baltics or the Baltic states is a geopolitical term that is typically used to group these three countries, that is Lithuania, Estonia and Latvia on the eastern coast of the Baltic Sea. Coming to question number 4. Consider the following statements. Zoonotic infections can be bacterial, viral or parasitic. Scrub typhus, brucellosis, anthrax are all zoonotic diseases. Which of the given statements is or are correct? Let us have a look at the context first. There is a mention of the 7 priority zoonotic diseases in the PIB article. A division of zoonotic diseases program at the National Center for Disease Control has created material on these 7 zoonotic diseases. Those are rabies, scrub typhus, brucellosis, anthrax, CCHF, Nipah and the Kaisanur forest disease. Coming back to the question now. What is a zoonotic disease? A zoonosis or a zoonotic disease is an infectious disease that has jumped from animal to humans. Now, these pathogens that cause zoonotic diseases can be bacterial, they can be viral or parasitic, or they may also involve unconventional agents. Therefore, statement number 1 becomes correct. These zoonotic diseases can spread to humans through direct contact or through food, water or environment. Now coming to statement number 2, we just had a look at 7 zoonotic diseases and these 3 are among them. Therefore, the right answer to this question would be option C, both 1 and 2, since the question asks us for the correct statement. Now let us take up a previous year question from Prelims 2014. In the Constitution of India, promotion of international peace and security is included in the option A, preamble to the Constitution, option B, directive principles of state policy, option C, fundamental duties, option D, ninth schedule. Promotion of international peace and security is not in the preamble to the Constitution. And let me know in the comments section below what does the ninth schedule include. It does not include promotion of international peace and security. Article 51 of the Indian Constitution talks about promotion of international peace and security. It states, the state shall endeavour to promote international peace and security and maintain just and honourable relations between nations, to foster respect of international law and treaty obligations, and to encourage settlements of international disputes by arbitration. And this is a directive principle of state policy. Therefore, the right answer to this question would be option B. Now let us take up the fact of the day, which is NISAR, that is NASA-ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar. What is the context? This article in the PIB talks about the 3rd Arctic Science Ministerial Meeting and India's participation in it. It is the 3rd of the Arctic Science Ministerial Meets that is co-hosted by Iceland and Japan. And also, this is the first one being held in Asia. The first 2 meetings were held in the USA in the year 2016 and Germany in the year 2018. The Arctic Science Ministerial is a global platform for discussing research and cooperation in the Arctic region. And this article also has a mention of NISAR. India plans to launch NISAR satellite, which is a joint ISRO-NASA mission. Please note that this has not been launched yet and is proposed to be launched in early 2023. So what exactly is this NISAR? As the name itself suggests, it is a joint Earth observatory mission between ISRO and NASA. It is a dual band radar imaging mission with L band and S band. So what are these L and S bands? They are satellite frequency bands. The L band refers to the operating frequency range of 1 to 2 GHz in the radio spectrum. It is one of the chief operating ranges used by various applications such as for global positioning system, which is GPS carriers, and also satellite mobile phones, telecommunications and aircraft surveillance. The L band has low bandwidth due to its low frequency, and it is the easiest to implement for many applications because of this low frequency. The frequency range for S band is 2 to 4 GHz. S band is used for weather radar, surface ship radar and some communication satellites, especially those of NASA for communicating with the International Space Station and Space Shuttle. The S-band is flexible and powerful, which makes it a viable technology for use in a wide range of applications for the general public and mostly for communication. In NISAR, the L-band is being developed by NASA and the S-band by ISRO. So what are the objectives of NISAR? This mission, that is NISAR satellite, will carry a synthetic aperture radar as its payload in order to capture very high resolution images. The significance of this synthetic aperture radar is that it beats the resolution limits of what can physically be put in space to provide images and science of much higher quality. This will provide us with very high resolution images. This NISAR satellite will have the capability of polarimetric and interferometric modes of operation. That is, it will help to observe minor changes in land vegetation as well as the cryosphere. NISAR will provide information used to monitor ocean winds, waves and sea ice extent that can aid weather forecasting and warn of marine hazards. The major scientific objective of this mission is to improve understanding of the impact of climate change on changing ecosystems on the Earth, Earth's land, coastal processes, land deformations as well as the cryosphere. This project has been taken up with the goal to make measurement of land surface changes using advanced radar imaging on a global scale. This will monitor the ice sheets of the world and also their possible collapse due to global warming, so that this can help in disaster management as well. The synthetic aperture radar can also serve as a radar speed gun to provide global maps of ice flow, and this will support sea level rise impact assessments. It is believed that this mission of ISRO and NASA will be able to notify any hazardous disturbances in the Earth's surface well in advance, that is, days prior to the disaster or calamity. That is all for today. Thank you for being with us. Keep watching and keep learning.